This video was brought to you by Xfinity. CelebrateBlackTV.com. Xfinity, the future of awesome.
That night on the balcony, you were screaming, "I see you." So, just what do you see?
Don't be scared.
It's your life, son. Don't throw it away.
This is different.
'Cause I hear you loud as a bomb, wanting a shoulder to cry on.
Good. Always good to see you, brother.
Always a pleasure, brother.
Another good performance. One thing I loved about this movie, you spoke it right in the press notes. It's like your character was a guy that you would be okay with your daughter meeting. You know, and I did like that about your character. That he was built up as a guy that was something that, you know, I think we should show as an image of our characters instead of the constant characters that we usually see. What did you think about that?
I couldn't agree more, you know, and it's not some kind of farce. It's not some kind of like mystical men. There are men out there that exist that are like this. Men that have integrity, men that aren't afraid to treat women with respect, men that are unapologetic about their wanting to see justice in the world, men that are humanitarians, and on top of that, men that aren't weak. None of those things make him less of a man. In fact, they make him more of a man and more of a role model. And on top of that, he had his shortcomings as well. Yeah. And so I think that it's important to project images that counteract some of the negative images that we see every day. Interestingly enough, you go overseas and you talk to some people that aren't really familiar with black men in America. You say hi, and they say, you know, some line from a rap movie. You know, it's the only English they know. Yeah. And so while I'm not passing a judgment on, you know, artists, I'm saying that there has to be a balance that comes across in the media, and I've taken on that responsibility in a way to project characters that I believe are three-dimensional and that are positive and that have an outlook on life that is healthy.
Officer Nicole, I was more than willing to break bread with you, but I'm not sure I can support someone who looks like a college boy.
There was a 26-year-old minister that led the civil rights movement.
Are you comparing yourself to Dr. King?
Not at all, Reverend. What I mean to say is, progress rarely comes from those who are content and secure. It comes from those who've been unsettled by what they've seen. Now, there's a daily violence in our community. I have a front row seat to it. Nothing stops a bullet like a job. LA is better when our community is strong. And I'm gonna inspire City Hall to invest in us. Now, the truth is, I can't win this election in this district without your support. I hope as you become more familiar with me, I can earn your respect. But in the meantime, my actions will speak louder than anything I can say tonight.
I look forward to your actions.
Well, Noni's character touches on something that me now as a parent and as we raise our kids that I deal with. I listen to the music now, a different perspective. I look at the imagery and say, you know, my daughters are watching this, and it's a problem. What do you think about the lyrical content of today? And is this something that's just a constant? Every generation is going to be super critical of the previous, or is there something to some of the complaints about?
Well, I think that there is something to it, but I think that the answers lie in us. I think that we first need to recognize that there's a problem and there's a struggle, and because if we don't, then we won't be able to identify solutions. I think that understanding that no matter who you are, you're leading someone somewhere. You know, whether you have no platform or whether you're, you know, our President of the United States. You know, someone's watching you, and with us as parents, it's our children. And we have to be intentional about what we put in front of them. One of my, I went to college for computers, and one of my professors used to always say, a computer will never do anything that you don't program it to do. There will never be an output that's not directly connected to the input. So if we allow things to go into the minds of our children without a filter, then we can't be surprised when the output is something that is reflective of that input. So we have to be intentional about what we allow our children to see. And first and foremost, we have to be intentional about them understanding who they are identity-wise. I mean, I followed you very closely and with BLACKTREE, and you're big on identity, just knowing who we are, not being apologetic about the fact that we are people of African descent, that we do come from greatness, and that we can perpetuate greatness based on our Sankofa roots.
Yeah.
So I think that with my daughters, my whole thing is always remind them who they are, and always remind them that they're enough. They were born enough.
Yeah.
Because then it doesn't matter what the music says. If they're with a friend and the friend has the music, they can't say, if I listen to this, I'm doomed. They can say, oh, I know who I am. I know where I fit into this world, and I know that that does not reflect or influence me. So we have to start at the root, not the branch.
Right. Man, I always need 30 minutes to have this conversation with you, brother. But
no doubt.
Everybody's got to go check out the movie. You had a great performance,
Thank
and
you, brother.
we'll always be cheering you on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man.